And cheers, everybody. What's going on, y'all? So I wanted to hang out with you guys for a little bit. And as you can tell from the title, I'm going to be going over a checklist that I think you should kind of have prepared. You don't have to have everything on the checklist, but I wanted to at least share this both on Amazon and all the other social media platforms for the Anti-Diet Masterclass I'm going to be doing in just about 2 hours from now. You can still sign up for it. You can go, I put the link in the description, whether it's on Amazon or whatever platform you're watching this on. The link is in the description. It's $20 for the masterclass. You not only get live access, if you can make it live, we're going to do an hour, 15 minutes of Q&A at the end, so you can ask any kind of questions, not only on what I talk about, but really any questions you might have, as well as be able to get some more fun information. And I figured kind of just chat with you guys. So if there's any questions, you have any concerns or anything you want to ask, I'm going to hang out for about a half hour or so, going over really what this is going to be about, some of the things that you're going to want to have with you, and kind of put yourself in the best position. Especially on Amazon, I have a whole bunch of different products that I think can be helpful, not only for the class, but also for just your nutrition in general and a healthy lifestyle. That's what it's all about. So with that being said, let's kind of dig right into it, y'all. And again, if you guys have questions, I have the chat open. I have the comments open on my computer so I can check everything. If you guys want to ask questions, stay tuned. I'm going to dig into it. But this one's really just about digging into some of the helpful tidbits and really a Q&A session if you guys have any questions on what it could be, if it's for you, all that fun stuff. So the biggest thing is we're going to be covering 3 core principles and really the pillars that I've found to be the most valuable to really cover, that build to a lifestyle approach that's sustainable when it comes to our nutrition. Because the biggest thing when it comes to a quote unquote diet, almost no matter what the diet is, the common thing they have or the core thing they have in common is they're going to be restrictive in nature. Say, hey, you can't have this, you have to take this out, you have to avoid this food, which is just in and of itself is not going to lead to sustainability, right? So if I tell you, hey, you can never have this food again for the rest of your life, how likely are you to be able to do that? And that's basically what pretty much all diets are doing. And that's my opinion, the biggest problem with the diet concept and the psychology behind it. I was talking to a client about this yesterday, and they, for the past 8 years, have done different versions of keto and low carb and things like that. And the common question I always like to ask, and I'm going to ask you guys this as well, is when you do this, how is it going for you? Meaning, have you seen success and made a successful change in your lifestyle, or have you lost weight? I'm sure a lot of you have lost weight on diets before. I know I have, but then we gain the weight back. We play this cycle game of gaining and losing the same 10 pounds, the same 20 pounds, whatever that looks like. And that's not only going to be psychologically demotivating and actually harmful to us, but it's also going to be physiologically harmful, where our hormones are going to be affected from it, our metabolic rate's going to be affected from it, our actually body composition is going to be affected from it, in the sense of not only fat coming on and off, but our body's probably going to be losing muscle tissue, because if we're constantly in a calorie deficit, your body's not going to be really building new muscle tissue. And guess what? Fun fact, muscle tissue is one of the biggest helpers when it comes to having a lean body composition, because it's going to drive the calorie burn and allow us to actually eat foods and have the purpose behind the calories. So that's a really, really big one I can't emphasize. So being able to dig into these 3 pillars are going to be important, but also breaking them down in a manner that's not just okay, now we have some knowledge, but it's giving you actionable steps for each one of these 3 pillars. So you'll be able to go in, digest the information, we take it piece by piece, slide by slide, and then be able to take away from it actionable steps that you can implement literally today. So it's not okay, now I have to wait a little bit or it's going to take time. It's literally things you can start implementing right now, today, during the masterclass and afterwards, that will make a change in your nutrition and even in the mindset that you have around it. Because I think that's even a bigger contributor when it comes to our lifestyle, when it comes to health and nutrition and things like that. So being able to understand, hey, this is something I want to be able to do the rest of my life. Not just, hey, is this something I can do for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, I'm talking about 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. I'm 34 years old. So this is something I want to do for the next 70 years. I plan to live to well over 100. I'm going to be honest with you guys. So obviously some things aren't in my control, but what I can control is what I put into my body, exercise, activity, hydration, things like that. Speaking of which, I'm going to have a little sip of coffee here. And being able to have that lifestyle change and not feeling restricted, being able to connect the physical side of things and the psychological side of things, kind of mash them up, and then also feel supported as well. So that's like the important piece to me, was having a Q&A session during this actual live, where I'm going for the masterclass at 3 o'clock on Eastern time zone. And the best part is, let's say you're like, Mike, this all sounds great, but I don't think I'm going to make it. It's like, if you're watching this right now and you haven't signed up, maybe you didn't plan for it. The best part is you can sign up for this and you don't even have to make it to the live class. I'm going to have a downloadable PDF on our website you'll get access to when you sign up for access to the masterclass, as well as a recording of it. So you can go back and watch it if you missed it. And even if you did go live and you watch and you join the class with me live, and they'll say we cover something, you're like, oh wait, what did he say again? You want to go back to it? Because I know not only when I'm doing like training, I take notes, and I have that even highlighted in my like carousel here on Amazon, like notebook, computer, phone, like you're gonna wanna have all this stuff, so maybe you're gonna wanna take notes. I would recommend though, don't worry as much about taking notes if you're gonna join for the class, and just be present. And then you can always go back to the PDF, because you guys are gonna have a downloadable PDF to look at with the slides and the information, the references and all that. And then you're gonna have a recording so you can watch back and listen back to it. The thing I would say is definitely hang around for the Q&A piece of it, because then you're gonna have 15 minutes of time with me where we can run through not only questions around what's covered during the masterclass, but really anything around a healthy lifestyle, or any questions you might have that can come up. So I think that's going to be a helpful piece. I kind of want to pause there for a second to see. I'm checking here on Amazon on my chat. There's questions. I have the comments open. So if you guys want to leave a question on any one of the other platforms, let me know. Like, what questions might you have? What hesitations might you have? You're like, hey, what might you be like, hey, this sounds okay, but like, why wouldn't you want to do it is kind of what I want to get from you guys, if you want to share that. And if not, like, I'll kind of tag in, go back and forth. To me, I'm really just going to be hanging out for like 30 minutes here on this live stream. Just kind of giving information, going over this fun stuff, trying to add value for you guys so that you can feel confident with doing it. But if you also don't want to hang out for the whole 30 minutes, that's totally cool. And maybe, honestly, if there's no questions, maybe I won't hang out for the whole 30 minutes. We'll see what goes down here. But again, it's going to be today. Now, the best part is, though, even if you can't make it today, again, you can still always have access to it. So you can always go back and watch it. And then the other part of it, the reason we're doing this in timing is coinciding with our 28-day nutrition course, the live launch, where we're going to do our next live series. So you can always sign up for the nutrition course on our website. It's a 28-day course that runs you through basically meal plan, habit change, exercise, and the really foundations of what our philosophy is at LOF behind changing your lifestyle. Whether it's, hey, I want to lose fat and weight, I want to gain lean muscle tissue, I want to improve my physical performance, or some variation of all the above, or you just want to have a better quality of life, you want to have more energy, you don't want to be in as much pain. There's certain components. I'm not saying, like, again, this is not like medical advice, always like, and this is something we work with you guys and collaborate with you, especially during the nutrition course. And with the coaching side of it, you're going to get assigned to your own personal coach. You're going to have weekly Zoom calls that will be done with one of our nutrition coaches, and have the support that you need to feel confident with the shifts. And then even after the 28 days is up, you'll always have access to the lessons, the videos, the downloads, the ebook that comes with it. And then you can always sign up for more coaching if you want. We have additional like programs and fitness resources. We have well over 1,000 recipes. So whether you're gluten-free, whether you're, a vegan, vegetarian, you're doing carnivore, like whatever you could think of, any type of nutrition preference that you have, we'll have options for you. Because that's the thing to me. Again, I don't like the idea of like a restrictive diet. So like, if you're going to have something that is important to you, and let's say, I'm not saying you should restrict gluten, but let's say you have celiac disease and you can't have gluten, it's not good for your body, and you need ideas, what can we do there? We have options for you. But the goals for me, and even in this masterclass, as well as the nutrition course that we have, is being able to combine the behavior change that's going to be driving a lot of the reasons why you might not be seeing success when it comes to a diet. Because we can diet for a period of time, but until we're actually looking at why we're making the choices that we're making, our relationship with food, our relationship with body. Now, again, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychiatrist. We're not going to play that role, but we will look at some of the components of psychology to understand the choices that we're making and how do we shift them, looking at the physical and the mental. So there's like a lot there just to unpack. And that's why it's just the hour of this masterclass. I could like rant for multiple hours on the topics that we have, but I'm trying to kind of provide insight information, give value. So to me, like even just $20 for this, like you guys are gonna get well beyond $20. Like just to be transparent with you guys, just for the 15-minute Q&A alone is going to be well worth more than $20. So you can ask any questions and have support there. That's like, to me, because like I charge $500, just to be very transparent with you guys, like for coaching, like I really don't take on new clients now, unless you're like personal friend or someone that's like really needs help, and like then we sometimes will work out things. But like if you're a random person that want to work with me, it's $500 for me personally. Like I don't take on really new clients. We have coaches and we have great programs for, starting at like $95 a month and even less than that, $50 a month and more, that can come with different types of programs. But just the 15 minutes with me is like $125 I would charge for that. So just that in and of itself, I think is value. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this to understand what you're getting and to hopefully not have, and listen, I'll even say, if you guys aren't satisfied, like with the 20 bucks, it's not like I'll give you your money back. I don't want, 20 bucks isn't going to make or break me, right? Like it's more of, the reason I even charge for it, because we were doing it for free in the past. And one thing I've noticed, and I'm curious what you guys think about this, let me know in the chat, is when you have skin in the game, when you actually pay for something, even if it's just like 20 bucks, you tend to take more action. You'll show up, you'll actually implement what you took away from it, and it'll have a bigger impact on your life because you actually, like, it cost you something. You actually put something on the line, as opposed to like how many free things are out there, and for whatever reason we just don't take it serious, or we don't take action because you're like, I didn't spend anything, what do I have to lose? But by putting skin in the game, the point is to drive behavior, because it's one thing to have information, it's another completely separate thing to take action. And that is ultimately what the takeaway is for not only the masterclass, but our nutrition course. And even though it's 28 days for the actual nutrition course that I'll talk about in the masterclass at some point, and that you guys can still sign up for, you go to lifestyleoffitness.com. We have everything in our shop. Also, I put the link in both on Amazon and in the description here, wherever you're watching this, for the masterclass. You'll also see all our other programs, the nutrition course live, you can opt in for. Cool thing is, if you actually sign up for our fitness vault, you'll get automatic access to the nutrition course. It's actually the best deal in my opinion. So I would check that out if I were you guys. But I want to pause for a second. I want to see if there's any questions here in the chat, not only on Amazon, on any other platforms. What do you guys think? Talk to me about questions. Anything comes up for you guys? Or what other kinds of masterclasses would you like to see me talk about? What other kind of topics might be helpful? Like this anti-diet approach is so important to me, because it's not just about, the sustainability, it's about what happens to us psychologically. Like it ripples into everything that we do. And that to me is why it's like we shifted from like Life of a Fighter, which is still the company name, but to like Lifestyle of Fitness for the general population. I still work with fighters and athletes, and we kind of keep that under the fighter brand. But Lifestyle of Fitness was this shit because it's really a lifestyle. And it's not just about fitness like in the gym and whatnot. It's like your finances is a part of your health. Your mental health is obviously a part of the physical health, and the way you educate yourself, and all the different components, they all overlap. It's all related to your health and the quality of life that you have at the end of the day. So to me, that's such an important piece that I like to integrate, and we do. Even in the masterclass, you're gonna hear me talk about not just the nutrition side of things, which is the focus, but also the ripple effect into all these other things. Like we're gonna do an exercise when we first get started. That's why I say have a pen and a paper if you can, or have your laptop or something where you can take notes, because I'm going to ask you guys to write stuff down. Or you can do it in your own head, or do it later and come back and not do it live. But that's why I like saying just be prepared for those things, because the goal is to try and set you up for success. That's what I think a coach is supposed to do. And being in a position to set you up for success is going to look different for everybody, but there's certain foundational things, like be present, don't have distractions. Like even though I have the screen right here so I could see the chat, if I was watching like when I'm like always doing continuing education, right? I'm always going to school, I'm always learning things. I'm not watching TV while I'm in class, right? I'm staying focused on the task at hand so I can be present. And that's something I've had to work on. Excuse me, if I'm being very honest with you guys, to be present, even when I'm with my family. It's easier with work for client stuff, because like for whatever reason, I just take that as an easier way to be present for, because like people are paying me money, so or investing in our coaches, so it's easier. With my family, I make sure I put my phone away, be present. At the dinner table, be present. Even when you're eating food, be present. How quickly does it take you to eat your food? Like I'm a fast eater. That's one of the biggest things I've had that doesn't get talked about a lot in diets typically, is like some of the other components. Yeah, Christina, what's going on, homie? Christina, I see you on Amazon. Christina Nietzsche, by the way, is an awesome Amazon streamer who's also in the health and fitness world. Christina on Amazon, if you want to drop your information, you can find her ChristinaNietzsche.live. Feel free to drop that, and also follow her on all the other social media platforms. But Christina, you know what's up, right? Like you might have noticed from the title, right? Like I'm doing a MasterClass today at 3 o'clock, and I'm just talking about some of the things we're going to cover, what to expect, and all that fun stuff. And feel free to share any of your, obviously, insight here too, or any of your thoughts. Obviously, I respect your opinion. But to me, it's about like, the concept of a diet that's always so flawed is the restrictive nature to it. If you're going to remove and restrict things that you can never have again, the likelihood of us being able to continuously do that is minimal at best. Like even just statistically, regardless of what the diet is, there's a 10% chance that you're going to keep the weight off for 2 years. Then there's less than a 5% chance after 2 years you're going to keep the weight off. So if we know that pretty much everything's failing, why are we still doing the same stuff? Right? Why aren't we changing and saying, hey, it's not a diet. I think that's great. Oh, thanks, homie. Instead of saying, hey, I'm going to do this diet, I'm going to do this diet, I'm going to do this diet, like, forget the diet. That's why it's anti-diet. Let's throw the diet out. Let's find a lifestyle that you want to live. Let's find foods you want to eat. Because here's the thing. You could meal prep. Because people will say, oh, you know what, Mike? If I just had someone to meal prep for me, if I had a chef, I would eat whatever. It's like, let's be real, dude. Let's be real. A lot of times, even when people do meal prep, the food they're meal prepping, they don't enjoy. Let's go with the most stereotypical bodybuilder kind of a meal. Grilled chicken, brown rice, broccoli, no flavor, plain, whatever, eating it time and time again. Gina talked about this on another stream that we did where like when she was preparing for a physique competition, that's all she really ate. Her other coach that was working with her besides me was very restrictive in that. I understand when you have like a show or a fight or an event, that's a really hard thing. And they'll see Christine saying, yeah, absolutely. Fad diets are so short term. It doesn't teach people how to eat balanced. Yeah, exactly. And that's, I think, the thing. It's teaching and being able to have it. And then it's also what I want for all of you guys, fun fact, is like, I want you to not need me and my coaching team at the end of the day. I want to get, like, this is why I guess I've been able to work with personally over 3,000 clients, and our coaching team has been able to work with over 3,500 clients. And the most proudest point that I'll be really transparent with you guys, like the numbers of like how many clients we've worked with and how much we actively have, it's like less than 1,000 actively, like less than 500 even actively. And I take pride in that because that means they graduated to a point where like they don't need us on a day-to-day basis. Now we're always here, and we have like, it's kind of like a revolving door where they'll come in, we'll do check-ins, we'll support them. We have options for people to stay in kind of like certain programs that can have resources that they find helpful. But I want to get you guys to a point where you don't need a coach. You don't need someone to say, hey, you're gonna do this. You've learned how your body responds. You've gotten to the goal, and then you've learned how to maintain that goal and adjust for things come up. And then in like maybe 5 years, when a new life experience comes up, maybe you have kids, or you got a new job, or you got injured, or you hit like menopause, or whatever life event happens, and then you need some additional support because that wasn't a variable at the time, then we're here. And I know that you're going to come back and want to work with us because we gave you such a great experience. Who else would you want to work with you? Why would you not want to work with the people that got you the results that you needed and helped you understand it to do it on your own? That's ultimately the driving force for everything that we do. Yeah, I'll see what Christine is saying here. So yeah, I eat clean, but I do not eat the typical bodybuilding way. I know if I can eat and enjoy myself and be able to reach my goals, others can as well. Too much bro science for sure. Love how real you keep it. Thanks, Christine. And like likewise, dude. And that's the thing too. Here's the other side of it. Here's another thing is understand expectations. This is a big one for me. Like, I don't care about having a 10% body composition anymore. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When I was fighting, I did, because it impacted my performance. And I wanted to have that, and I wanted to perform. Nowadays, I just want to be healthy. I do blood work now, and like I look at my blood panels, and I care more about being in optimal ranges for my health, not necessarily being as lean as possible. And that's a big difference. And like to the point, like you were saying, Christina, being balanced and being able to say, hey, because and maybe you want to, and this is the other misconception, is like people in the fitness industry and professional athletes are seen as like these super healthy people. And a lot of them are. Like, Christina, I would say you're a very healthy person. From what I've gathered for your approach to how you live your life, I would say you're extremely healthy. Obviously, I don't see your blood panels and all that fun stuff, and like I've seen obviously like you work out and stuff, so I can see body composition wise you like have lower risks of all these health conditions and whatnot because of that. But the idea of like, hey, are you willing to sacrifice your health later on for your fitness development now? Right? Life is way too short. Too lean isn't healthy anyway. Yeah, exactly. And that's like the other thing is being able to keep in a healthy range, and also understanding your body type. Like even on our website, we have a body type quiz. It's 9 questions. It's absolutely free. And I made it free because I wanted you guys to be able to like take it and not have it being a limiting factor. But I know that contradicts like, hey, having skin in the game. So we might end up making it be like $1 just so people have to invest so they take action. We're still collecting data on that, to be honest with you guys. And to be transparent, like it's also so that we gather your information and we can reach back out to you and saying, hey, you enjoyed this, check this out. You like this, check this out. So I want to be able to have that like a two-way conversation, and feel free to reach out to us, not only in the chat here like Christina's doing, but also on all the other platforms if you want to ask questions. Like I love questions. I love talking. I don't know if you guys can tell that. And obviously I'm very passionate about this. And honestly, like hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows for me. Like when I was younger, I was always heavy. Like I was even considered obese if you look at my BMI to my age and my weight where I was at. And then at 16, I got cut from my varsity baseball team. Like I've told the story a million times. I even just posted it yesterday on my social media platform. So I won't beat a dead horse with that story, but the idea is I can relate to not being happy in your body and the struggle. Like even throughout my fight career, especially the early years, the 4 fights that I had, I would fight all the way down to 155 pounds. Like I would go from like 180 pounds to 155. And then at even later in my career, I'd go from like 180, 190, maybe 200 down to like 170, 175. And constantly fluctuating 20 to 30 pounds isn't healthy no matter what the approach is. I did it because of some of the advantageous positions it would put me in for like strength and size. And also like I still am dealing with some of the relationship dynamics I had with food from a young age. And I'm even dealing with to this day, to be honest with you guys. And Christina, I always carried extra weight as a kid. Yeah, exactly. See, Christina, you get it. And I think that's important too, is to share the vulnerability, because so you guys can understand. Because I think it's easy to say like, oh, well, Mike, you know, this is what you do for a living. That's easy. It's like, no, dude, I chose this life, you know, and I changed who I was as a person because of it. And it saved my life, honestly, in so many different ways. I won't get into all that. But the point of me saying all this is I want to have that impact for you guys. And I think we're going to add a lot of value from the masterclass today just for that alone, let alone all the other things it'll lead you to. Because once you start taking action, you start investing, it doesn't have to, and I don't even mean like financially. It can be your time. It can be your bandwidth, your energy. Start shifting your priorities. Because even right now, I'm going to be super honest with you guys, I've been working 70 to 90 hour weeks. I run my business and I love it, so it doesn't feel like work, but I'm also realizing it's coming at attacks of like my bandwidth. I've been getting sick more lately, and I practice what I preach in a sense of like, all right, now I got to back off. I audited my time in February. How much time am I spending, work with my family, with coaching, with training? I'm training every single day. So now I'm going to step back from training instead of 6 to 7 days a week, 5 days a week, still maybe 6, and just do active recovery days, but lighter days, mobility days, not pushing the strength training as hard, being able to have that pace to it. And then being on the nutritional front, being able to say, hey, instead of, because I'm so busy, relying on, not meal prepping as much and takeout or whatever, which even then I still make the best choice I possibly can. So I don't even think that's a reason why you can't have good choices. But it's like, hey, shifting bandwidth, saying I feel at my best when 80% of my foods are meals that I've made, because I know I can control what's in them. When you go to a restaurant, you can ask for things, but you don't know what's going on in the back. I'm not saying you shouldn't go out to restaurants, but it's like finding that, again, Christina used a great word, balance in your life, so that hey, I know what went into this. I know what my body responds to. And then it's also understanding what data do we need to collect? Using like I said, 10% body fat. I'm at probably around like 20% body fat right now. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like super honest, like really transparent. That's like high for me. I'm gonna get down to about 16 to 18% body fat. And I was actually crazy. This is crazy. So when I was at my peak, as far as like really not feeling, so I was like at like 22% body fat, which is the highest I've been since I was like 16, because I was grinding so hard with work and all these other things, and I was training and I was justifying some of the lack of sleep and nutrition habits that I have because of that. And I have to run, but good stuff. Thanks, Christina, dude. Thanks for dropping by. Go check out Christina too, Nietzsche.live, for everyone watching this if you want to go check her out. And she's got Amazon, social media, all kinds of great stuff. But thanks, homie. Have a great day. Always appreciate you. But my point of saying all this is, listen, we're going to, I'm in this too, and I have my own coach. Like I'm working with, you might've saw our stream last week. We had Dr. Eric on the Amazon podcast, where we're going to do blood work with him. I'm going to share you guys with my blood work every 6 months. We're actually working on some things behind the scenes, so I can't announce everything yet, but being able to have more blood work, share my body composition, my body fat percentage, data point changes, getting into jujitsu and competing a little bit more nowadays and enjoying the choices I'm making. Like, honestly, that's what it's about. It's about finding the things that we're going to enjoy, whether it's food, training, how we spend our day, how we spend our life. Like, otherwise, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, why are you trying to be 8% body fat if that's not the life you want to live? It may sound good to like be completely ripped, but like, do you want to live that life? And I think that's the other part of it, is setting the expectations of like, what kind of life do you want to live? To live at 8% body fat for a lot of people, it's gonna be super restrictive and you're probably not gonna be happy. So maybe it's about adjusting what the goal is. And if not, you do want to be that, cool, but know what you're going to have to get into and shift your priorities to match that. Here's the question I always pose, and I'm going to kind of finish with this and then we'll start to jump off. Unless you guys have questions or anything, let me know in the comments or the chat. If you're, whatever the thing is, let's say I don't have time, I don't have energy, I can't do it. If I told you were going to get $1 million to do it, would it happen? I bet you would make it happen. If it's waking up to go to the gym at 5 a.m., if it was meal prepping on Sundays, if it was, getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night, if it was, you name the goal, the habit, the thing, if you were guaranteed $1 million at the end, if you could do it for whatever period of time, I'm willing to bet you would do it. Why? Because $1 million is life-changing for a lot of people, almost everyone, right? Unless you have like hundreds of, like tens of millions, or like you already have millions, like maybe it's not important, billions, but that's a very small percentage, right? Like 1% of people or whatever the number is. But the point of me saying this is like, so it's life-changing. You're willing to sacrifice for that. I'm promising you, when you invest in your health and you have a better quality of life, that is life-changing. And that's what's crazy to me is like when you're overweight or you're heavy, guess what? And I'm not shaming. It's okay if you have like a genetic disposition, you have a thyroid condition and you can't be a certain body composition, but when you're not doing everything you can, you're hurting your body, it's hurting your work, you're hurting your family, you're hurting yourself, you're hurting the people around you. Because here's the thing that people will say too, is like, oh, I do anything for my kids. Well, get healthy for your kids. Take care of yourself for your kids. Because like I have a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old, I have 2 daughters, and they see me work out, they work out. I don't tell them they have to, they just see me do it. They want to do it. They see me making food and they want to help me. They see me and Ashley even going on the scale to check our body composition, so they like match what we do. Now, I'm not saying kids should be weighing themselves. I don't even let them see the number. I don't even tell them anything. I just like, hey, that was cool. Like so try to educate them and not to shame them. Again, like we're in a stage right now, like body shaming and empowering people in their bodies. I think that's important, but also understand if you can be in a healthy weight or optimal health position, whether that's because your weight, body composition, whatever, and you're not doing it, you're doing yourself and your loved ones a disservice in so many ways, especially if you have kids, man, like especially for your kids. Do it for yourself, but here's the important thing. You can't just do it for your kids. You can't just do it for everyone else. You still have to do it for you too, because otherwise, again, that's not a sustainable lifestyle. So anyways, y'all, that's kind of my rant. I kind of went into a whole bunch of different things, but I wanted to see if anyone has any questions. I'm just looking at my Amazon stream as well, and some of the products I've highlighted. I'm going to kind of finish actually by just highlighting each of them really quick, and then we'll wrap it up here, because in like about an hour and 45 minutes, I've got the Anti-Diet Masterclass I'm going to be running. We're going to be doing it. Again, if you guys can't make it live, but you want to get it, you can still sign up for it, and you'll get the PDF download, you'll get the live recording of it, and then you can always reach out for questions. And then we're starting our nutrition course as well this Sunday live. We have our nutrition coaches are going to be helping me run it, so I actually won't even be involved in the day-to-day, which is beautiful. So I can do some other really fun things, and I know that if you guys do it, you show up and you take action, it'll change your life. Like I can guarantee that, whether it's on the masterclass, whether it's on our coaching, whether it's on our nutrition course, whatever it is, I put a guarantee behind it. If you do the work, and here's the cool thing, I can track all of this stuff. Like in our program, there's lessons, there's videos to watch, there's quizzes. I'll see if you did it or you didn't. And if you didn't do it, it's very obvious. It's also not only obvious by the data, but it's also obvious in like, I can ask a few questions and I'll know if you did it or not. Just from your mindset, from the choices that you made, from what you're saying and how you're saying it, it's obvious. If you're like, oh, okay, you meal prepped, what'd you make? Oh, okay. How long did that take you? Where'd you get it from? How much did it cost? Like little random questions you don't think about, but like you'll know that if you actually did the steps, right? Like you'll know, like, oh, what'd you use to make your meal prep? What equipment did you, like whatever. And I'm not saying you guys aren't doing it, but it's just saying it's very easy to know. So I'm saying all this to say I'm even guaranteeing everything. So if you don't feel good about what you did or what you got from everything, I'll give you your money back. I don't want anyone's money if you don't feel and see the value at the end of the day, because I don't think that's a good way to do business. I've been doing business now. I've been in this company. I've owned this company for 11 years. And in my opinion, while we're not worldwide yet as far as a name, like we're actually everywhere. We're in over 100 countries, but we're not worldwide known in the house of everyone's house yet. We've existed and hung around this long because the way I feel like we've done business and how I've approached it and how we deal with people. And that's a big difference to how we separate people. Is also the accountability variable, is the care, is the reach out, is to support and adding that value. So that's pretty much going to do it, y'all. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully I'll see you in less than 2 hours in the masterclass, and even better, I'll see you in the nutrition course starting on Sunday. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, not only here, wherever you're watching this. You can shoot a message, drop a comment, reach out to me via our website, lifestyleoffitness.com, or you can shoot me an email, lifeofafighter@gmail.com. And with all that being said, I'm out of here, y'all. I'll see you guys later. Let's get our cheers on. Hold on. Gotta get the cheers.